As an entrepreneur, you usually don't make a whole lot of money early on. So I kind of see that as a non-financial benefit that I get from being my own boss.
Yeah.
I kind of like, look,
the thing is you're not working at 3:30, but you're working around the clock.
Yeah.
And I think that people don't understand. It's like, I have that flexibility, but I also am totally locked in.
I never turn it off.
Yeah.
It's like it's going on at all times.
Yeah.
This is Lee Hargrave, certified strength and conditioning specialist, former rocket scientist, and a coffee snob.
This is Isis Hargrave, certified OPEX coach, nutrition realist, and a mom of 2.
And this is Adonis Wright, CrossFit Level 2 head coach at enduraLAB, and I'm the biggest hockey fan there is.
New hockey fan. And you found the enduraLAB podcast where we dive into the science behind fitness,
the ins and outs of better health,
and lifestyle strategies to help you live your best life.
Today's episode isn't about having more time. It's about building discipline when you have less.
It's about entrepreneurship, fatherhood, sleep deprivation,
and walking into the gym when it would be easier not to.
Today, we're joined by entrepreneur, new dad, LAB member since January 2022, Charlie Stevens.
Woo!
Welcome to the show, man.
All right. Thanks,
We got to
guys.
give him the clap and applause.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Glad to be here.
Round
Sweet.
of
Yeah, I like
applause.
that. There we go.
All right, so we're going to start off hot, man.
Yeah.
All right, so Charlie, we're going to start here. Since Miles was born, how many times have you almost quit training?
Yeah, jumping right in.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 0 right off the bat.
0 to
Man,
60, how I like it.
I think it's been something that it has been a priority during the pregnancy. We had that conversation a lot of how are we going to manage all this stuff? And I realized that in order to maintain our health, we needed to prioritize it. Y'all have it on the gym, on the wall. It says if it's important, do it every day.
I wondered if people actually look at those things.
Yeah,
What's written
I
on
do.
the wall.
I do,
okay,
yeah.
I love that.
I've taken pictures of them.
Oh, that's even
Yeah.
that's awesome. And I want to preface too, because people don't know. So Miles is how old?
Miles is 11 months.
Okay, so fairly
Almost
newborn.
Almost 1 year.
Yes,
Yeah.
we're in the newborn phase, and you had been training with us since in 2022, of course. So it's not like you joined and then Miles is 2. It's like you
Right.
had a routine and then you had a baby. And so, yeah, some little context behind that.
I think you go through that phase anytime you have your first kid. Everyone goes through the phase of my old life is over. And I don't mean that in a negative way at all. I think it's an amazing transformation as an adult, I guess. And it was very conscious to be like, okay, my routines are going to change and that's fine. And, now you just have to be very intentional with your time and how you spend every hour of your day is really important. And it's crazy. I think back, it's like, what do we used to do with our time?
Right.
It's insane.
Let's ask Adonis. What do you do?
Oh,
wow.
No, just being kid-free.
Being kid-free
Being
and
kid-free.
single. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
No,
So, Adonis, what do you do with all your spare time? 'Cause-
So I watch a lot of movies and TV shows. I
love
take
you.
long walks on the Trinity Trails.
No, we
by
talked about
myself.
this because
Yeah, by myself.
we talked about this though because I said something about having to go get Jack and like all this stuff. He goes, sometimes like you obviously want a family.
Yeah,
We talked
yes,
about this,
yes.
but then you listen to sometimes probably our stories and you're like, man, I'm glad I can just go home and chill tonight.
Yeah, like I know that there's a happy medium between
Yeah.
the life that I have now and then hopefully what I have later on. But I feel like I'm a very good person that I like to schedule things. I like to have my free time, but I'm very intentional with my time and like how I spend it. So it's just I'll probably have less of that, but I still know that like fitness has always been something that I've done my whole entire life and I will make time for it. It's just I just have a lot more free time. I can sit down and watch a lot more sports now in this season of my
I think
life.
we were talking about bedtime and you were like, I'm going to bed early. And I was like,
Oh, yeah.
I would love to do that. But my house is
Don't
still
you go to
going.
bed early already?
I do.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse you.
sorry.
Yeah, I have earplugs. I like face mask.
Uh-huh.
Room is dark. And so Jack now, our 14-year-old, tucks me in. I mean, it's like they know I'm going to bed. But it's harder when you have a newborn. There is no schedule. Anything could happen at any time. So that's definitely a harder. I'm glad we're out of the newborn phase.
But it's fun. It's
fun.
really, really fun. I have really, really enjoyed it. And yeah, it's really fun.
Did you surprise yourself a little bit with that? Did you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah, and we have a lot of friends. I guess I have a lot of friends that have kids. So it's like I see it. I'm around it, not 24/7, but I see the joy that it does bring. And it is something that I want to be a part of and everything. And I do know that it's not, and you said this earlier, it's like your life doesn't necessarily change or like your life's over. It's just like you just started new life.
Yeah, it's a new chapter.
It's a new chapter of your life, but it's like I would say it's a better chapter. Things are going to be different. Your time's going to be a lot different, but the outlook and the things that you can prepare for and you are going to look forward to probably make you more focused on what you're doing for your family.
Yeah, exactly.
Because your future's not about you, it's about your child, right?
Right.
What would you necessarily say is over?
I think it's doing whatever you want whenever you want.
Okay.
So it's a good question because it's a simple example is like, I'm going to go run and, run to the store, run an errand. And Libby's like, well, who's watching Miles while I'm at the grocery store or whatever? It's like, okay. Yeah. Good point. Didn't think about that. Yeah. I got to stay home. I don't want to say independence, but it's someone is dependent on you at all times. And so you're always thinking about who's got Miles. And so that pertains to having time to work out too. Y'all are very welcoming to kids being up at the gym.
I know. I tell you to bring Miles every day.
I know, but it's hard, right?
No,
As
I
he's
know.
crawling around and stuff, it gets harder as they get old. In the
And
newborn
mobile.
phase, it's easy when they're just laying there, but now he's crawling around and grabbing stuff and it becomes a liability.
Would you ever consider like creating a home gym to give you a little more time or
No.
flexibility?
No,
home gym.
I'm
Okay.
out on home gyms.
Okay,
Yeah.
why is that?
I like the intentionality of going somewhere.
Okay.
I like being out of the house. I like saying I'm going to go train and I go somewhere. And then when I leave the gym.
Yeah,
No,
I was
no.
like that. That's why like online classes were never going to be a
No,
thing for me. It's like
yeah.
I had to be in class, so I relate to that. I know
Yeah.
what you mean.
Like COVID, we had to do home gym during COVID and I just got burned out on it. I like going to a gym and being around people and stuff like that.
Now, with that being said, and you said there's a lot going on. You own a business, you have a newborn, there's a lot to do in the day, and you like to be intentional and go somewhere. Okay, so let's say you drive up to enduraLAB. There's a ton of other stuff. Do you ever have that feeling like, I can't do this today? And what is it that you tell yourself that makes you stay?
Yeah, almost every day. Almost every day, honestly. My job, a lot of times it's like I'm just on my phone constantly. And even while I'm working out, sometimes it's hard to be like, just
He'll
don't
be walking
open,
in. I'm like, don't talk to Charlie yet. When he lifts his head, then you can say hello.
don't open my email, don't open WhatsApp and focus on where I am. But yeah, I would say almost every day it's like, I don't have time for this. And there's other things I need to be doing. But it's the mentality of thinking ahead or thinking forward of where I want to be eventually. And I don't think we ever arrive where you want to be, but it's like enjoying the process. And
That's another thing we have on our wall.
Yeah, no, it actually is. That was not a plug there.
Below the plug. So what kept you from turning around your car today doing the podcast?
I was going to beat him up. That's
Yeah. No, I don't know about the podcast.
You're just like, that wasn't on my agenda at all. Like,
I
didn't
thought
have
it'd be
that one
fun to
planned.
do this,
Yeah.
but no, it's something I know is going to be good for me. It's something I know that I'm going to be happy at the end of the day that I did it. I'm going to be happy in 1 month. I'm going to be happy in 10 years that I did this. And so I almost see it as an investment, and it's a non-financial investment. And just like anything, you put in the work time and time again. And my hope is, now I'm 35. I'm not old yet, but
Thank you.
getting there.
Adonis.
I'm getting there, right?
You're always like, I'm so old, and you're
I
like
mean,
35.
Yeah, I feel like I'm getting older. Like I feel like a true adult now. In my
Yeah,
mid-30s.
yeah.
Like when we were like in our 20s, when I was like my late 20s, mid 20s, I was like, yeah, I'm an adult. I was like, no, you weren't.
Right.
No, you weren't. But like now, it really feels like that. But it's a realization that I am getting older, and I'm not old, but it's just I'm just there now. Like I'm established
We're
as an
adulting.
adult. So.
Yeah, you feel it a little bit more every
Yeah,
day,
like
you know?
you can't do the things that you used
No.
to as often.
Man, I used to be awesome.
I used to be a
If
dog
only
out
y'all
there.
saw me back
Yeah,
in
just-
back in the day.
Yeah, me too. No, but I think what you said earlier about it is investment, just showing up and making sure you go through and focusing on a process. A lot of people rely on motivation. And I think as you go into different chapters, marriage, kids, so on and so forth, you can't rely on motivation to get you there. It's consistency that really elevates where you're at. And I just think that parking lot moment that you're having of, I'm here, I'm going to do this thing today, I want to do it today, I know I'm going to feel good about it. That's what we're looking for as an athlete or as a member of enduraLAB. We're not looking for someone that's trying to rely on motivation because it's just not going to work.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think too, a lot of this applies to my life as an entrepreneur where, you know, the motivation that I had 5 years ago when I started my business is long gone. And if I was relying solely on motivation, I would have given in a long time ago. It is freaking hard. It is so hard. And I think about it, let's use an example. What's the workout that we do twice a year at the gym?
Manslaughter.
400 meter
Manslaughter, yeah. I think
Lunge
that's one of my favorite workouts because it's, what's the workout again? It's 400 meters.
It's you do 5 lunges, 5 push press until you complete 400 meters.
Yeah. And to me, that workout is entrepreneurism in a workout. It is step by step. It
Grind.
sucks from second set.
Second set, yeah.
It is horrible, but you have to just put one foot in front of the other. You can only worry about the next 5 steps, next 5 steps, next 5 steps. And there's no motivation of, I'm going to get jacked after this workout. It is just grueling, but the mental reps of going through that are so great. And again, back to the question of what keeps me from not going to the gym. I think that's a big part of it. Is like, just do it. Just do it. And I know where this is headed. I know that I'm going to be healthier for this. I think it helps with the mental reps with my job and my career. And so, yeah, it's taking a longer vision.
And I would say, like, for the best motivation, and this is getting later on into your career, like you said, that your motivation is different. I think the best motivation is preparation. If I'm prepared to do whatever I need to do, then I don't need to get jacked up. I don't need to get super hyped because I have everything at my fingertips to be prepared and ready for that endeavor, whatever I'm facing in front of me.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do. I love that. So let's talk about something that most dads, and probably I would say most men, now that I'm surrounded by them, won't admit is the guilt.
I can't speak to dads.
Is there, I'm just saying men, like men don't complain. But do you feel guilty for leaving Libby and Miles at home when you're working out? So you do invest in your health, and that's very important. And Libby invests in hers as well. I think that as a mom and as a female, I feel a lot of guilt. I felt a lot of guilt with that. So does the same for you?
I wouldn't say guilt. It's something like back to the beginning. We both have approached this topic with intention, and I feel like every Sunday we sit down and it's like, okay, what's your week look like? What does my week look like? Y'all see me in the gym. I'm usually in around 3:30 or so. And that's because I choose to do that instead of work. So that, and while Miles is at daycare and Libby's working, so that's my free time. And so I sacrifice a little bit of work time to train. And then I go from that to go pick up Miles from school or get ready for him to come home. And then we've got the rush to bed. Basically, it's basically 2 or 3 hours till he goes to bed where I can be fully focused at home and play with him and do what I need to do around the house. And then if I have extra work that I need to do, I'll do that at night once he's in bed. And Libby does the same thing, and we try to map that out and time it up. We do that to avoid this guilty feeling of, oh, my son's at home and I'm up here lifting weights. You know, we do that to avoid that.
Yeah, and I would think, and I guess I'm asking you the question, that if you and Libby, or if Libby didn't take fitness seriously as you do, or it wasn't something that y'all both did, do you think that you might feel a little differently, but because you both prioritize your fitness, that there's less guilt or that feeling of, I guess, maybe negativity of leaving Libby or Miles at home?
Yeah,
okay.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That is interesting.
And I would think maybe, and again, every relationship's different, but I do think that if there was one spouse that cared more about fitness than the other and that person spending more time at the gym, then there might be that guilt. But if you two both talk about it, you both care about it, you both love to work out, then I feel like that's where you guys are really preparing, like, hey, I want to work out this day or that day or whatever it may be for you guys. So
yeah. I recognize too that I'm lucky in the sense that I get to go work out at 3:30, and not everyone gets to do that. As an entrepreneur, you usually don't make a whole lot of money early on. So I see that as a non-financial benefit that I get from being my own boss.
Yeah.
I'm like, look,
the thing is, you're not working at 3:30, but you're working around the clock.
Yeah.
And I think that people don't understand. It's, I have that flexibility, but I also am totally locked in.
I never turn it off.
Yeah.
It's like it's going on at all times.
Yeah.
Now, I think, really since you guys are both real intentional, I think we should flip it. So what would it be like if you didn't get a chance to work out? How's that, Charlie?
How does that feel?
yeah, who is that man?
Do you feel guilty in
know
yourself?
I know that man.
You do know that, man.
I
do know. We both know each other without fitness.
Because, Isis, if she comes in, I can tell maybe some days if she hasn't worked out. I was like, why don't you go work out?
Oh, because why?
Because you're going to murder me with an axe.
Because you might be,
That's why.
She might be sharpening box cutters.
This is about you, Charlie.
She's like out on with a knife and a stick just.
I might be a little cranky, but okay. But how about you, Charlie?
Yeah, I would say
back to
I get a little cranky. It's a stress reliever, maybe a little bit of an identity thing.
Yeah.
I like to have something I'm working towards. I think sometimes I travel a lot for work, so I'll go through stretches, a different topic, but sometimes I'm in a place where I can't get a good workout in, and let's say for a week at a time, and I miss that like drive, that grind feeling, because training every day, you get that satisfaction of working towards something, and that's something that I struggle with sometimes if I don't get to train a lot. Mm-hmm. And solving that has been a cool adventure. I travel internationally a lot, and I usually now will pick where I'm going to stay based on the closest gym. Mm-hmm. And so I've had the opportunity in the last probably 2 years to train at some really cool, typically CrossFit gyms globally. Lee, you saw my shirt the other day, and I told you that was a shirt I picked up in Rome at a CrossFit gym in Rome.
That's
and
awesome.
I've got a gym in Medellin, Colombia, and Bogota, Colombia, El Salvador, Chile, Argentina, Paraguay. And that's kind of answering the question, trying to solve for that feeling. It's not guilt. I don't want to say it's guilt, but it's just that lack of grind has led me to a cool adventure of meeting and seeing these gyms all over the world.
Well, it's a sense of self for you.
Yeah.
If you don't have that, it's a loss of that, which is very important, and that helps you live your life daily. And so when it's missing, there's a lack.
Tying back to another podcast that we had when we had Dylan on the podcast, that was like one of the main topics were like if you're traveling or moving to another location, that a lot of people these days are trying to find places to live, hotels while they're traveling that have a gym next to it, because fitness is such an important thing for people these days. And you saying that is like you're traveling all over the world, but you're still finding that time to fitness is huge. Yeah. So it's just glad that you said that, and that was a big topic that we had with somebody else on the podcast a few episodes ago. Yeah. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. And so when you work out, you show up better for yourself, most importantly, than your family, and then your business ultimately. Yeah. So that's awesome. Mm-hmm. And again, you're not working out for necessarily like to get that 6-pack. Even though you might have one, it's more towards the capacity.
Come on,
He's like,
there's one there.
I see Charlie put it. I only see you in the evenings mainly on Tuesday, Thursday evenings when I'm with my PT client. But Charlie gets it in. Charlie gets it in. He's probably got a 6-pack.
Depends on the weekend.
The weekend. Yeah. Old habits die hard.
Yeah.
All right, Charlie, we've talked about being an entrepreneur. So give us a little background about what you do.
Yeah. So my background is in commodity trading. I worked previously in the grain markets, like corn, soybeans.
Well, that's
wheat.
You're talking about my home right there.
Yeah. I lived for a minute in Western Kentucky. I know Illinois fairly well. Moved over to oil and gas trading after that, and that sent me out to Denver. So I lived in Denver for about 8 years.
Is that where you met Libby?
No, I met Libby at Texas Tech.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we did long distance for a while.
Oh, okay.
And while I was in Denver, I fell in love with learning Spanish. I hated the break room at work. Everyone would go to lunch and talk all the time, and I didn't like it. So I found a Spanish school for professionals down the street, and I started doing my lunch breaks there and figured might as well spend the time wisely. And I ended up falling in love with Spanish. And fast forward to another job, I was the only one that spoke Spanish, and they were like, we need someone to go to Colombia to investigate a project we have going on. And I sheepishly raised my hand and went to Colombia by myself and fell in love with Colombia. It's a beautiful place. People are amazing. And while I was there, I was on a coffee farm, and the owner gave me a cup of coffee, and I was like, this is delicious. And I think it was experiential.
Yeah.
Coffee farm, drinking coffee.
Yeah.
It's like
You're
when
in
we
another
thought that the
country.
best restaurant was like McDonald's as a kid. We're like, oh
Yeah.
my God.
Or like, when you're on like hiking, you eat like a Snickers bar, you're like, man, this
So
is
good.
so
Best,
good.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so-
I'm
but-
sure it was still a really good cup of coffee.
Yeah. But I fell in love with it, and on the spot, I made a deal with the farmer, and she started telling me that she didn't know how to get the coffee to market, and it was kind of intimidating. And I was like, I've experience in that, and so I made a deal with her, and I bought all of her coffee. And that was the start. I like to say I accidentally started a coffee trading company. And so I raised a little bit of capital around that. We built a coffee processing mill in Medellin, Colombia. And so a processing mill is we take the raw material from farms, we transform that into what's called green coffee, which is the raw coffee that roasters buy. And today we're growing, and we sell raw shipping containers of raw coffee globally. So we're a green coffee trader.
Okay.
So it's
A lot of people don't know what that means, so I
Right.
wanted to explain
Yeah.
So you're all about the beans.
all about,
All about the beans.
We
Have
went
you
to-
seen that Curb Your Enthusiasm episode?
No.
Mocha Joe's. All right, watch the episode. I think it's
I love
like
Curb, but I haven't
season. I
seen
think it's like season 8 or 9. But Mocha Joe's is
Okay.
the episode you need to watch.
Yeah, all right.
Wasn't it the Costa Rica where we went to the coffee place?
Yeah.
And we took our kids, and it was really, they walked us through like the trees and the actual, and Isla loved the inside.
Well, no,
Yeah.
that was cocoa.
Oh, that was cocoa.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's
It was a
also
coffee
delicious.
farm.
So good. It tastes like, what is
Super
the candy?
bitter.
It's like,
Oh no, you're talking about the outside is like the sour.
Yeah,
You know,
it
around
tastes
that.
like a Sour Patch Kid.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like it's
Okay.
crazy.
well,
The
we get
outside
it
of a
mixed.
cocoa bean. We went to a coffee farm.
Okay. So it was
But
a coffee farm.
they also did cocoa, and they had all the fruit. That's the first time I ever had salted mango,
Yeah.
which
Oh,
is way
wow.
better than just regular.
It's
mango.
really
Just
good.
a little salt. It's awesome.
How cool will it be though to take Miles and like show him that too, that whole experience?
It's like
That's
you
so
built
fun.
an empire in a way. And,
I'm not quite an empire yet.
but no, but
Yeah.
you're building one. You're building
You're
one.
building one.
Yeah, you're building one.
Yeah.
Who's the biggest buyer of green?
Starbucks?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
They buy like 40% of the world's coffee. It's
Okay.
crazy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Mainly because of just mass
I mean, they
production
need it.
they own
So,
so many.
demand.
Now,
Yeah.
do you sell to any local businesses here in Fort Worth or in Texas?
We were involved in what's called specialty coffee. So specialty coffee is like a smaller subsect of the bigger market. And so we did sell to a lot of the local coffee roasters here. And in the last probably 6 months, started to veer away from that and
Okay.
go more large scale, bigger volume. But it's a more scalable business. So you can build an empire.
I see where you're going. I see where you're going.
Yeah. So like a lot of the small roasters, independent roasters, do they often have their own farms, or are they buying from?
No, they're typically buying
Okay.
from a trader. The supply chain is long and complex and
Okay.
very difficult. So it's really hard for a small roaster to be able to manage that, while also managing their local business.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's interesting that people just have their cup of coffee and don't even think
No.
about where it's coming from. Like you said, in the business side.
Yeah, it's intense, and a lot of people don't know this, but coffee is traded on the exchange. So there's a lot of volatility that I have to deal with. And then on top of that, geopolitics is a huge component of this, and tariffs, and it's been a hell of the last 12 months or so.
I'm sure.
Trying to just keep up with all this, and we're not going to get into
Yeah,
it.
we're not going to get into
We
it.
talked about it earlier,
Yeah.
but yeah, saying geopolitics plays a part in what you do. That's big. Yeah, we're on board.
It's tough, right?
Yeah.
Just trying to understand what does all that mean for our day-to-day business, and then on top of that, the safety of my team and our people and farmers and all of that stuff. So it's really, really complicated, and I think a lot of people just don't even think about it when they drink their coffee.
They're drinking their coffee. And then people are like complaining about an expensive cup of coffee. It's like, well,
$6.
there's a lot that
Yeah.
goes into
Well,
that coffee.
There's
Yeah.
a reason why it's $6 and it used to be $2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, would you rather lose a week of revenue from your beans, or would you rather lose a week of training?
I really
Which
don't
you
want to
rather-
lose a week of revenue.
Sounds pretty easy. I'm building an empire.
It's a recovery week. You know?
Someone's got to pay my dues at enduraLAB. So that's,
Okay, I do have a question. So you're doing global business and time zones are different. So when you're here, when are you generally working, and literally when do you sleep? And like how much do you sleep?
the coffee market opens every morning at 4:30 a.m. So I get up at 5. And typically I got to figure out what's going on internationally, what just happened in Europe, Africa, Asia.
Because they're like a day ahead, 8 hours ahead.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And generally that early in the morning, the market's pretty slow. So it's usually fine. But every now and then you wake up to just an absolute shit show. And it's like, oh my gosh, what just happened? The market is up or down 15, 20%. And it's like trying to sift through all the news and figure out what's going on. And what does that mean for us? And then in terms of sleep, that's something I'm trying to improve and get better at. Oddly enough, since having Miles, I feel like my sleep has improved.
Wow. Okay.
How so?
That's a testament to my amazing wife.
Okay.
But she does a lot of she was breastfeeding up until recently. And I have to say, I knew nothing about the world of breastfeeding. It's intense.
I don't remember anything, but I was breastfed. I
hope
speak
you
from
don't
experience,
remember.
but I forgot. I'm
Speaking
glad I forgot too.
From experience, I breastfed for 14 months for both of our kids. It was a long journey. And yeah, so go ahead, tell us. So how did that save you? How does that save your sleep?
Well, I don't know how.
Okay.
I don't know exactly how, but
You're not getting up for feedings because
No.
she's handling that.
Now that we've moved to formula, now I can. And so I try to jump in for whatever reason. I don't know if I'm more tired just from my days being fuller. I'm not sure, but I feel like my sleep is improving, but I still don't sleep well. And that's something I'm trying to improve, whether it's diet, whether it's my training. I think something with training is run into this over and over again the last probably 6 to 12 months is overtraining.
Get out.
Why-
No.
Yes.
So
I'm sure me hyping you up every day doesn't help that either.
Oh, I've had many
No.
talks with Charlie. He knows. I'm like,
Yeah.
Charlie.
It's tough. I used to subscribe to the thought that the more tired I was, the better I would sleep. And now I'm running into like I lay down and I'm exhausted and then I don't go to sleep. And that's a miserable cycle to get into. And so I've started to prioritize how my training relates to sleep. But back to your question, when I sleep, I try to go to bed around 10 and I wake up around 5. But given
7 hours is good.
what's going on with work, I have a lot of sleepless, anxious nights, worried about whatever.
Yeah.
Everything from people management to business. I lose a lot of sleep over.
Like based upon your sleep, has it ever happened to you where you've done a workout tired and you've actually done very well at that workout, or a PR to workout on lack of sleep? Or has it always been like, I'm super tired, I have not trained well? Like Jordan's sick game, the flu game or something like that.
Probably up until the last year, I used to be able to pull that off.
Okay.
I think now, and I think that's like the age thing, I'm really starting to struggle. When I don't have sleep, I struggle in all aspects of life. And I used to be the kind of guy that could burn the candle at both ends. And quick story, we ran the Dallas half marathon, and I drank like 10 beers the night before.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you carb loaded.
And I carb loaded and hydrated.
Yeah, a whole bunch of silver bullets.
Libby was kind of pissed with me. She didn't love that, but I did great. I was really happy with how I performed. I can't do that anymore. I just can't do that anymore. And yeah, I feel like more and more, the more tired I am, the worse my training is. And I typically am lowering the intensity.
And I think that's harder for you because you tie your workouts to your self-worth.
Yeah.
If I don't go hard or I don't perform like I used to, then something is wrong with me.
For sure.
And I think that's something like as we mature and we grow up, and it's something I see in raising kids too. It's like you have to learn that there's different time periods, different cycles, different, like recovery is important for you. And that is just as, satisfying. It will be, like, not now, but like it will be satisfying to be able to just move your body and do what needs to be done for that day. There will be a point when you're like, man, I crushed that without crushing yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you're ahead of the game by thinking about it already.
Yeah.
I think I was about 43 when I started focusing on sleep, maybe.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So yeah.
So
you're ahead
mad
of
at
the
him
game.
because he stays up all night working like you can so easily do. And I'm just like, you have to prioritize your sleep. I obviously did. And so I'm like, you have, and I did mostly because I was in that breastfeeding stage where I was getting up, feeding. If I knew if I didn't go to bed at 7, that I was going to be wrecked because I had to be up in 4 hours and then again in 3. And then, so that habit for me, and I did both of the kids for that long, was a habit for 4 years of my life. And so when you prioritize sleep in that way, I don't want to go back. I know what it feels like to have a good night's sleep. Right. You know what I mean? And that's just my 2 cents about sleep.
I think too, the mental rest is important. Like, it's to stop thinking about work, to stop thinking about the obligations that you have, whether it's family or whatever is going on, even dealing with the feelings of guilt or whatever you want to call it with your health. It's just important to literally unplug from all that stuff. And that's something I'm learning more and more and trying to get better at. It's really hard.
It's hard.
Really hard.
Yeah, I'm trying to get back into the game of golf. It used to be like that was my time. That was something I did give up. A lot of times we talk about
his golf game was over.
Yeah.
When he met me.
That was over.
She called quits on golf on Saturdays.
Yeah, she was like, how long does it take you to play?
4. Nope.
5 hours? Anyway. Nope. But like
8 hours.
I have a practice slot scheduled for me once a week. That's it.
Yeah.
And even driving to that the last time, I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, I've got 5 things that are just like, I need to get done now. And I was like, you know what? I kept my phone in the truck, walked in, enjoyed it for an hour and a half, and then, I was done. And then, of course, you're refocused.
Exactly.
I think that was the hardest thing for me to understand is I had all the time in the world at night because everybody was in bed. So it was like my time. And I could spend all night doing it. And then the shift was waking up earlier and having myself a bookend of time. And I would be a lot more productive. So I could get a lot of the same stuff knocked out in a much shorter amount of time versus me being like, I've got all night.
Yeah.
I would literally stay up till like 1 o'clock in the morning, go in and coach at 5. I mean, just like over and over again to a point where it was just like, I got that. But my health started to decline. I didn't work out as much, even owning a gym, which is the crazy thing. But like when the kids were in the gym all the time, they were in like playpens. I'm changing Isla's diaper. It was crazy for a long time. But now, I'm on the other side of that. So like I said, you're ahead of the game. So that's awesome.
Yes.
Good.
Okay, we're going to do a quick dad edition rapid fire, and then we got to wrap it up because we all have to jet.
I was going to say, I got to get out of here.
All right, Charlie, so quick answers. PR or a full night's sleep?
Full night's sleep.
Oh, okay. Reggaeton or country on leg day?
Oh, on leg day? Oh,
I'm
reggaeton.
surprised.
I was gonna
say this isn't.
Country day is more like an upper body.
Easy. I thought that was going to be a pretty easy answer.
Yeah, reggaeton.
All right, burpees or Diaper blowout in public.
Burpees.
What does dad strength mean?
What does dad strength mean? Oh man, I think this is a tough one.
This is supposed to be rapid fire.
I'm sorry.
Would it be just beating up the other dads? I could beat up the other dads.
Yeah, I could beat that dad.
Let's promote violence.
Or like, I'm
Alpha
starting
dad
to,
on the block.
I'm starting to wrestle with Miles a little bit, and I own him.
Yeah.
He's 11 months.
There's Jack, the other day, I'm like standing by the couch, and he comes by and shoulder checks me, and I go over the edge of the couch. And I instantly got up. I'm like, that's not happening again. Grab him, slam him on. You have to establish that dominance as long as you can. Like, oh, yeah, great.
I still got it.
I still got it. You got me when I wasn't sucker punch.
Yeah.
Right?
That's all that. Yeah. When as Miles gets older, if he starts trying you and you still got it, that's when you know, like, that.
Yeah, exactly.
That might be dad strength. Yeah.
That's what I'm preparing for right now.
I love it. Yeah. Coffee before or after workout?
Before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you work out at 3:30.
Yeah, but even in the morning, even if I come to the 5 a.m., I've got to have coffee before.
Absolutely.
Oh, same. Like for me, it's wake up, coffee.
Yeah.
Coffee or pre-workout?
No, I'm not a pre-workout guy.
Because you're a coffee guy. Okay.
Hey, I'm the same way. I'm not a pre-workout guy. I don't need it to get amped.
I need a cafecito. Yeah.
All right. So in closing, Charlie's story is proof that life doesn't get less demanding. You just get stronger.
Yep. Whether you're building a business, raising a baby, or juggling both, waiting for more time is a trap.
And you don't need perfect conditions. You just need a plan and a community to do that with.
So if you're listening and thinking, I don't have time, this is your sign. Head to enduraLAB.com and build a system that fits your life. Charlie, thank you so much for stopping by and being a guest.
Gracias.
Yeah.
Por veniring.
Thanks to everybody for tuning into the enduraLAB podcast. If this episode resonated with you, share it with another parent, entrepreneur, or someone who needs to hear it. Until next time,
Keep moving.
Eat well.
and stay strong.
Bye.
Peace.